Hey MVPs, Rico Knows here. You guys know the deal. The first fight on every fight card is free. Now, I want to tell you guys that usually I have to do all the picks. I have to make them private, put them on the Patreon, put them on YouTube and all this stuff. But this week, this fight card is actually free on TV. It's going to be on ABC, not on ESPN Plus. So I actually won't be able to live stream the fight because YouTube TV will block it on my Discord server, all this stuff. So you're just going to have to watch along. I'll do a live stream on YouTube, but I won't be showing the fights. I'll just be commentating and watching it with you like a reaction. But before I get into my picks this week, you guys already are aware the first fight on every single fight card is free and the main event's free. But before I get into this particular matchup, I want to talk about last week. Last week was a rough week for us. I went 6-7 on my picks, but there's just a slight error here and there. When you go look at the card for what it is, we were 3-0 on locks. And typically when you see 3 locks, you should parlay those 3 locks and enjoy your winnings. Now, unfortunately for me, I did not parlay the 3 locks and put it up here as my number 1 prop and parlay. Remember, they're in confidence order. I'm most confident at the top. We hit the first fight of the night. We won by points. We got it right. It was a plus 100. But I failed you guys by not parlaying the 3 locks and putting it up here. Some MVPs are better than others. I had some MVPs write me DMs and tell me, Rico, I parlayed all 3 locks and I won pretty big on the card. Not everybody won really big. I obviously missed. At times, things went wrong. We didn't get it right in certain situations and it sucks. Now, yes, if you watch the videos and you get the analysis, I told you Weston Wilson was going to win this fight by submission. It was actually in several videos down here as one of my picks, and then I deleted it. Sometimes I don't have the right conviction. Sometimes you're so close to greatness and you miss. I am human. That being said, usually every fight card, our top parlays, as you can see here that are green, and our other parlays, they hit. And that's why our prop parlay was up to 54%. On the season. We get these right. Trust the beginning of the parlays. Trust the locks. Trust the assessment that we were, what was it, like 13? We're still there. That's 6. You go here, another 3, and another 3. So we are 12-0 on locks in the last 3 fight cards. It's unfortunate. Didn't parlay them all together, but some of you did, so congratulations. Now we're going into Saudi Arabia. This card is going to be, you heard me right, not Abu Dhabi, Saudi Arabia. Shout out to the Middle East. We're on this card. It's going to be on ABC, so it'll be on regular cable TV. You'll be able to watch it. I cannot live stream that. It will probably be, there's like a block, if you will, by YouTube TV. So I can't live stream it on the Discord server with you guys. I will provide commentary on YouTube Live. But let's talk about these fights. So we're going to do the first fight of the night. And the first fight of the night is actually, it's a final to the road to the UFC. So if you go look at these guys' fight records here, you'll see Road to UFC, Episode 2, Episode 6, whatever it is. So Road to UFC, these guys have been fighting on the road. And what this is this is a tournament within the Asian countries to try to find your next Dana White Contender Series. It's like winning the Ultimate Fighter in the house. They're doing a tournament. Who's going to make it to the UFC? So they went and found this guy, Xiao Long, and it's really Long Xiao, but they have the name backwards. I don't know what that's about. But he's a young man who's never been subbed. Okay, he's been knocked out, and he can knock some people out. 26-7. He's fought 33 fights, and you see it, just a ton of fights on the regional scene. And he's been fighting in all these backwards places nobody knows about. And then he finally got on the road to the UFC. He got a split decision victory. And then he got a majority decision victory. And he's fighting against ChangHo Lee. They don't have a picture of him, but if you're looking at the graphic below me right now, he's the dude over here. He's this guy down here with the muscles, right? ChangHo Lee, who says he's going to be the next Khabib. He wants to be a dominant wrestler. He wants to do great things. And you see him here, his last 3 fights, all by KO and TKO. Before that, 1 decision, more KOs and TKOs. He does have a loss. And then that's it. 1 loss in his career. What I'll tell you is don't be misled by these KOs and TKOs. He was losing this fight. He was getting out-wrestled, out-grappled, but he found a way to come back to win. Shout out to one of the MVPs on the Discord server. I want to see who it was. I think it was Markley, but I'll double-check this. Shout out to the MVPs. He said, ChangHo Lee claims he wants to be the Korean Khabib. However, anytime he grapples, he's on his back. If you're on the live stream this weekend, you will see what I mean. Shout out to Mark Lee 88, one of the MVPs. Now, he's done. I love when the MVPs do their research. And if you don't know who the MVPs are, those are the premium members. Get to Patreon, get to YouTube, join the channel. Not just subscribe, but join. $25 a month. You'll get all our picks, our analysis. These are gamblers who get it right and are making a ton of money. Right? So I go and watch the fight, and I go and see what I'm seeing here. But I want to tell you that Xiao Long Xiao, if I get these names wrong, please don't judge me. I struggle, bro. I struggle. I'm American, born and raised in America. I can't pronounce these names, and this card has so many names I can't pronounce. You're going to hear me just blurt out gibberish, okay? And I know if I sat down and I looked at it phonetically and sounded it out, I'd probably get it really close. Like, I'd probably get it right. But instead, I just see a couple letters, and my brain just goes, say something. And that's what happens here. So I apologize to Long Xiao, okay? Xylophone. Long xylophone, if you will. But when you look at this man, I'm going to tell you what I don't like about his fighting acumen. I don't like that he's been on the regional scene so long and he does not finish these fights. You are fighting cans. You are fighting scrubs. And every time you fight, you go to decision for the most part. Nothing about you says I'm dominant, I'm a killer, I'm a finisher. You're just kind of there. You're just like a wrestler with no ability to really finish the fight. Really. And as he gets older, and he's only 26, I find his birth certificate, but as he gets older, he's going to lose some more of his explosion and his athleticism. But losing to Quinones down here on the Contender Series by unanimous decision was an embarrassing loss, because Quinones is not a good fighter. We've just seen him lose 2 fights in a row. I think he got knocked out. He's the guy with the neck tattoos. Well, that's not saying much. There's a lot of guys like that. But it's just he's very underwhelming. I know he's a good fighter. I'm sure he's won a lot of fights. He's beat 26 men in this world. No diddy. But when you go look at ChangHo Lee, you see an athlete. You see a guy who's not going to quit, and he's only experienced losing once. He's not out there like that. He's not going to lose. And when you start seeing a guy who's losing a fight and still get a knockout in the 3rd round, I love that heart. I love that determination. I like the way he's built. I like mentally, physically, emotionally. I think this is a real fighter. I know Mark Lee says he's going to be on his back. But when you see a guy get in the ring with regional fighters and he's finishing them and he's letting them know they're not on his level, I'm impressed by that. He's not going to decision with these guys. He's not. I'm going to tell you something. That fight against this man right here, Demir, that he was losing in wrestling, this is a 9-1 fighter. He's actually come back since that loss, and he's come out and he won by TKO the next fight, and he's back on the road to UFC again. And he wins by unanimous decision. He's a very good fighter, and ChangHo Lee found a way to beat him. He's beating good opposition, an 11-2 fighter. Now, he's lost back-to-back. But he had lost right before Lee, but he was undefeated before that. He was undefeated before his last 2 losses. But he's fighting good fighters and finding ways to finish them. So, in this matchup, I want to make it very clear. You don't have to bet this fight. You probably shouldn't. If you were looking for a sure bet to make on this card, it'll be in a future video. It'll be in one of the videos for the MVPs when I talk about some of these other matchups. I can tell you this. Some of these odds are frightening. Some of these odds don't make sense to me. They don't look like where you would want to put your money. And when I say where you want to put your money, let me explain. On this last fight card, I would have only put my money in 3 fights, the 3 locks. I would not put my money anywhere else. I have to pick every fight. You don't have to bet on every fight. And you need to kind of pull back and have the discipline to not bet on every fight. If you're chasing things, if you need to put some juice on it just to watch it, like if you're one of those people, I can't relate to you. I don't have any guidance for you. I don't have any advice or analysis. I can just tell you that it sounds like you're making the wrong decision. But for me, for this card, I would have probably bet 10 units on this and then just enjoyed the rest of the night. This parlay here, and I picked the only green one up here because I believed in it to that extent. I made Knudsen a lock. I thought she could beat Julia, things like that. So when I look at this card, I don't feel that way about this fight. This is a value bet. We hit these 40% of the time. This one feels like a really good one because it's a coin flip, because there are a couple coin flips on the card. But this one feels like, man, we know this. Whatever the over rounds are, I like them. Whatever they are, I haven't even checked the sports book. Be interested in the over rounds, okay? Because Xiao Long, however they want to say his name, he's just not very dominant. Like, he's not going out there to finish anything. He might be a little more grueling, and these two guys might end up in a clinch against the cage or on the ground, but they're going to be just kind of wearing on one another and trying to wear it out. And then if you can't get your takedown, then we're really doing no damage. We're just trying to get a takedown. We're struggling to get a single or a double, and then people get exhausted. If you've never pummeled in a drill or in a fight, in training, whatever, like, you're going to be in trouble. Like, that's one of the most grueling things you could ever do. Pummeling, fighting for underhooks, it'll wear you the hell out. So, I like a man who fights hard when he's worn out. Give me ChangHo Lee to win this fight. If you want to see the rest of the picks, you know what to do. Get to Patreon, search Rico Knows. If you don't know what Patreon is, download the app. Patreon, search Rico Knows. Become an MVP. You'll make your money. We don't miss. Yeah, we do. We do. But the locks are at 81%. If you want to know who's going to win certain fights, the locks are at 81.18%. That is not a typo. We're not lying. We've been doing it all year. Every single result is published. Every result is in 4K on the Patreon and on YouTube. Yes, 81%. Come find out who's winning these fights. Your friends don't know, but Rico knows. Peace, y'all.